Dear students, now we are starting with the different systems of the type specimen Calotes versicolor, and now I am starting with the digestive system of Calotes. As we all know that what is mean by digestive system. Digestive system is nothing but the system which is generally concerned with the digestion of the food materials that a particular organism is getting fed. So how it is possible? We know that the alimentary canal and the associated digestive glands are very much needed for the digestion of those food materials. So we can say that the digestive system of garden lizard or the Calotes is composed of an alimentary canal and a digestive gland associated with this. Come to the alimentary canal. The alimentary canal is a convoluted tube which is beginning from the mouth and it is ends in cloaca or anus. So this tubular structure is generally is responsible for the digestion of food material, and the whole tubular structure is called the alimentary canal. So let's move the detail of each part. The alimentary canal is always started with the mouth. It is a wide transverse slit. Here you can see that the slit which is bounded by an upper and lower jaw which is bearing the mouth. Okay, the teeth, what about the teeth? The teeth are very small and conical and similar. Similar means similar type of similar size or similar type of teeth are seen on the mouth. That means homodontic dentition can be seen in the mouth of Calotes or mainly in the reptiles. What is meant by the opposite condition, heterodont? Heterodont is a condition in which you can see different kinds of teeth, like we have incisors, premolars, molars, all these kinds of different kinds of dentition. So unlike the heterodont, the structure of the teeth or the arrangement of teeth are very primitive and they are called homodont. And where they are found, they are generally attached with the inner lateral side of the jaw bones, and such type of attachment of teeth is called a pleurodont. Pleurodont is nothing but it is the condition in which the teeth are generally placed in the sockets of the jaw, and these animal is generally adapted to catching and holding and not for chewing the prey. They are generally concerned with by means of their highly modified forelimbs, they will catch the prey, catch and hold the prey firmly and not making any chewing. They generally swallow the food material as such. Then the first mastication is generally taking place in the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity, the cavity which is found in the mouth, is called the buccal cavity. This is a very large region composed of a dorsoventral region. Okay, and as it is having a dorsoventral region, it is generally possessed a roof and a floor. The roof is generally provided with a pair of small opening that is called the internal nares, and the floor is present at the very lower end, and it is very narrow and generally consisting of an elongated and a fleshy protrusible tongue. This protrusible tongue is bifid in nature. Bifid means it is splitted, just splitted at the very front end of the or the tip of the tongue. It is protrusible in nature, or we know that the Calotes is very much adapted for sticking the prey at its tongue. Okay, so the arrangement of the tongue is in a way that it is protrusible in nature. Then pharynx. The buccal cavity leads into the pharynx. The pharynx is the posterior part of the buccal cavity. This is the pharyngeal region. This is a tongue, and it is provided at the back of the tongue region. You can see that there is a small opening is present. This is called the glottis. This glottis is generally passing air into the trachea of lungs. Then, and apart from that, a pair of small openings are associated with this glottis, that is called Eustachian opening. So that's all about the pharynx. Then comes the esophagus. Esophagus is a region where the masticated food from the mouth is passing. It's a very straight, narrow tube which is passing through the neck, dorsal to the trachea, and opens into the very next part, that is called stomach. The stomach is actually a muscular cylindrical tube. It is able to expand little wider than that of the esophagus. Here you can not see a differentiation of the stomach into pyloric stomach and cardiac stomach. This type of stomach you may be seen in most of the primitive organism. Here you cannot see that kind of differentiation. And this posterior stomach leads into the next proceeding portion, that is called the small intestine. We know that the small intestine is the major site of digestion. So the food which is swallowed by this particular organism is first digested in the mouth, which will pass through the buccal cavity, esophagus, and the second digestion is taking place in the stomach by means of the acid hydrolysis present there, and from the stomach it will move into the small intestine. Then comes to the small intestine. The small intestine, you can see that this is a very coiled, long, narrow tube. It is having a small anterior U-shaped region, that is U-shaped part. This is a U-shaped part that is called duodenum, and a posterior, much more posterior coiled region that is called ileum. Then what is the peculiarity of this duodenum is that into this duodenum the secretions from gallbladder, that is bile secretion, as well as in the pancreas secretions, are generally open into this duodenum, and digestion, most of the digestion is taking place in here. And after the digestion is over, the food passes into the very next region, that is called the ileum. And from the ileum it moves into the region of large intestine. Okay, so but at the junction between this large intestine and small intestine, you can see another structure that is called a cecum. Okay, it's only a protuberance, or it's only a projection. Then comes the large intestine. Large intestine is a sock-like structure. It is very thick-walled in nature, consisting of a sphincter, consisting of a muscular sphincter for opening into the very next part, that is cloaca. The colon is altogether absent here in Calotes. The rectum is generally consisting of the cecum and this rectum, as it is thick-walled. The rectum is mainly concerned with the storage of the waste material. Then comes the cloacal aperture. Cloacal aperture is a linearly subdivided region and can be divisible into three distinct areas like a coprodium, urodium, and a proctorium. The last part is known as proctorium, which generally opens into the outside by means of cloacal aperture. So that's all about the digestive system of Calotes versicolor. It is nothing but it is very simple. We know that it is omnivorous in nature, so that it will feed upon different kinds of organisms as well as plant tissues. And this is a very simple digestive system it possesses. So if you have any doubt, please do in the comment section. Thank you.